Good morning. Happy Friday. Can't believe it's Friday. I've been on every day this week. I feel pretty proud of myself. That alone is an accomplishment. I was always finding reasons why I couldn't come on, busy, tired, whatever it was. But I've been on every single day this week, so it makes me really happy. So good morning. My name is Tina. I am a 54-year-old mom. Nothing crazy. I'm a mom of 3 boys and 2 daughter-in-laws, and a busy life. But I also found myself in a bad position of being a type 2 diabetic, severe type 2 diabetic. June of last year, I was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. And so it was hard to hear. It was hard to swallow, right? But it is what it is. It happened. I did it to myself. Hello, good morning. I did it to myself, right? So I am going to go into a couple things that I wanted to talk about today. I named my live, I did not diet and I did not starve. And the reason why I did that is because I was able to rewind my diabetes from 11.5 to a 5.2 in 8 months. In 8 months' time, I was able to do that. I had food freedom, but I had to make good food choices. So the difference for me, like not food freedom, just eat what I was eating before, but I got to eat more food, learn that food is such a big part of my healing process and everything that I had to do, right? Good morning, Malcolm. Good morning, Anthony. It's so good to see you guys. I appreciate you being here. It's a rainy day here in Massachusetts. I don't know, what's the weather like for you, for everybody, wherever you're coming in from? Good morning. It's raining here. It's been raining for a couple days, which is fine for us because we had, like I told you, a boatload of snow. So it's starting to wash away. And I like the snow. It's just getting, cold and horrible. So yeah, it's not as cold as it has been here, but it's like icky. But anyways, I'm excited because I can get rid of some of this snow. I couldn't get into my backyard or anything. It was way more. We got the most snow we've ever gotten in this area last week or the week before. It was nutty. But so good morning, everybody. If you haven't been here before, my name is Tina. I am a 54-year-old a diabetic in recovery. All right. So I was able to take my A1C from a terrible place, a double what it's supposed to be, down to a 5.7 naturally in 8 months. And so I come on to share my story and some facts and some things that I've learned along the way. I'm in school to be a certified nutritionist, and that's just so I can learn how important food really is. Food is crazy important to your who you are, to your makeup, to your body healing itself, because your body doesn't want to be broken, right? Your body wants to be healthy, right? It wants to fix itself. If I broke it, my body wasn't broken. I broke it. I ate my way to diabetes. It could be type 2 diabetes, not type 1. Type 1 is a totally different monster. And I want to make sure I tell you that because I don't really know much about it. I know it has to do with insulin. I just don't know much. So I don't like to talk about it because I don't know it. I know type 2 because that's me and what I've done. And I like to share what I've done to rewind my situation. I had 3-step reset, which is, I just learned that terminology the way I did it, but I have 3 steps that I did that completely changed my health. I am now in non-diabetic range. I'm on no medications. I did it without any medication. I never went onto medication. And even if I am, now that I am non-diabetic, my doctor still wants me to go pick up the pills and the shot, which should say something to you. Says something to me. Like I told her, I don't want to be a diabetic. I want to do this on my own. I did it to myself. I want to do it on my own. And she said, that this doesn't matter. For the rest of my life, I'm a diabetic, and so I should pick up the medication and just take it for the rest of my life. So good morning, everybody. So that says a lot to me. It says a lot to me that for some reason, she didn't want me to heal myself naturally. She doesn't believe in it. And that could be just her belief in her. I don't want to down my doctor. I really like my doctor. But her idea was to be, even though I'm non-diabetic, maybe because she knows it's going to be a challenge, for the rest of my life, I'm going to be in recovery, I guess you call it, a recovered diabetic. For the rest of my life, I have to be very careful about what I eat, make sure I exercise, get enough sleep, drink so much water. Like there's 12 steps up there that I'm going to go through, that I did a little 12-step series in my videos of just things, healthy habits, because healthy habits take 12 days to 15 days or something like that to become a healthy habit. So I made a little series about different things, the habits that you should do. One of them is to get sun in your eyes, but that's not going to happen for me today. There's no sun around here, which is okay. But I did get up this morning. I went to the gym with my son. We had a great workout. We did upper body. So I could tell you that I won't be moving tomorrow. Yesterday he had me doing shoulders and biceps, and today I did back and tries, whatever, I forget what it was, but anyways, I can't move. I'm going to be moving very slow today, but I feel so good. I feel so good that my muscles are burning all that glucose, because in my mind, that's what I see. He sees like he's getting stronger and his muscles are getting more defined. I see when I use my muscles, and that's what I'm going to talk about today, how important movement is for somebody, anybody, but especially my case, movement, how it's helped me go from the type 2 to non-diabetic. Okay, so reason why I wrote, I did not starve. I didn't diet. I didn't starve. I didn't take medication. I just followed the system, which some of you know about the system. So that is, to me, it was the easiest crutch, bridge, helping hand to me. It was like my little non-living helping hand through my process of going in 8 months from the diabetes to the non-diabetes. My system was huge, and I will go through that a little bit later, what I did, my 3 steps that I did to do that. So I didn't diet, I didn't stop, and I didn't take any medication. I followed the system, and my A1C dropped. So I know there's way much more than just your A1C when it comes to, your health. I get that. But most people recognize that, the A1C when you go to the doctor and she talks about what your A1C is. And I think I should print out my results and show them to you the next time. I meant to do that yesterday. But like my triglycerides came down, my cholesterol came down, everything. Once I realized my problem was insulin resistance. Unfortunately, my doctor never talked about insulin resistance. She never talked about what I ate. She never talked about, if I was exercising, if I was getting enough sleep. None of that came up. She did say what I needed to do was to eat 6 small meals. So now knowing that I was insulin resistant and I was eating too much, it's kind of crazy to me that my doctor said, hey, eat more. So I am an adult and I take responsibility to it, so that maybe I should have done a little more research. What maybe she meant something different. I don't really know. Maybe she meant, she didn't talk about it. So I like to make excuses for her because I like her as a person. Oh, thank you for the follow, John. I appreciate that. I'm excited to follow back. I tried to follow people back yesterday, and the problem was that some people are private, so I sent the follow back. But if you have a private account, if you see me follow, I'd love to reach out. But I'm super excited. Thank you. So I could have done more research to learn, but I did. She just said eat 6 small meals a day, and your metabolism should bump up, and you should lose all this weight, and never talked about anything else. Okay, so. Again, I'm an adult. I should have done this research. Maybe I wouldn't have gone through that, but I'm blessed that I went through it. And I know you probably think I'm crazy, but I love that I found out about it before it was too late. Because if I didn't find out about it, I could go blind. My organs could have some problems because of all the visceral fat on my organs, lose limbs. You hear about diabetics who lose limbs because the neuropathy is so bad. Like, there's so many things that can happen. I am grateful that I learned in June to take control of my body. I had no choice, because I was either going to get worse or I was going to get better. The choice was mine, right? And maybe that's what my doctor's feeling was. Like, if I wanted to get better, I was going to do something about it. If not, I was going to pick up the medication and just get on that hamster wheel. I was afraid of the hamster wheel. I already did the hamster wheel of the diets, right? The going to count your points, the prepared foods, the soup diet. When I think about all the diets that I tried, the only eating soup, only doing water, like there was so many diets that I did. So I'm grateful that I no longer have to do that. I found what works for me. It doesn't mean it works for everybody, but it works for me, right? So I'm going to tell you the 3 things that I did. And then I have a fun fact that I want to go over. Movement is your natural medicine. And it works for me. Some people may not be an option, but there's always something you can do. There's always ways you can do it. And you don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to do anything like that. The weather's getting better here, for myself and Malcolm, which we have crappy weather. Outside may not be the easiest thing, but you can do stuff in your house, up and down your stairs, squats, just movement. Your body doesn't care how you do it, just do it, right? So movement is your natural medicine. It's great for your brain, which not just your body, right? Your brain and your glucose, because my glucose was wild, right? So that was the one thing I want to talk about. Okay, so So like I told you, I did this no dieting, which is fantastic. But what I mean by no dieting is I just didn't go out and I can't just eat just anything. I need to I need to be really be careful what I eat. I can eat, like a couple days ago, I told you I had cake. I wasn't ashamed of it. I just drank 2 of my fibers. So I had fiber before dinner and fiber before my cake. And my fibers that I take will help me fill up fast. It pulls that glucose out of my system, out of my belly, and gets rid of it before it gets into my system. So I no longer have those spikes. If anybody has spikes, anybody has that feeling like when you eat something and it eats and falls. If you have that, please put a comment in there if you've been through that, if you know what I'm talking about. So I used to eat the 6 small meals and I'd feel really great after I had my oatmeal, right? I feel, or whatever, I had a bagel. I'd feel really great for just a little bit. And then I would be hungry, or I thought I was hungry because my sugars were coming down from, it's like a quick spike, right? So I'd have this bagel, which tasted like heaven. And then I'd feel good for a little bit, and then it would fall down because now I'm hungry because there was nothing in there for me. There was nothing for my muscles to use. It used the glucose. So these are the 2 ways you can burn. You can either burn glucose for your energy, or you can burn protein, which turns into ketones in your body, and you can burn that for energy. It is so crazy, the human body, what I've learned just in 1 semester for school. My new semester started this week. So I'm excited to go on and do that. But it is crazy what I've learned about what food can do and how your body uses it, right? So you think you just eat it and it leaves. It doesn't. There's a whole breakdown system, right? You eat it, gets into your stomach sends it to the digest a little bit, send it to the intestines in the insulin, bring it to the liver's supposed to change it into energy and ship it out to the cells, right? So unfortunately, all of that worked. Obviously, I was eating, gets to my stomach sends it to my intestines bring it to my liver, and my poor liver, which I had fatty liver, and I don't drink. So I had fatty liver. My liver was sick and tired, very sick and tired, because I was eating terrible processed foods. And I guess you think if it says, protein on it, or if it says low carb, you think it's good for you, I guess out of the options, it could be better. But if it's processed, it's not good for you. Your body isn't meant to have processed foods. You should try not to. It's not realistic to say no processed foods, especially if you have a busy life, kids, whatever, things happen, life happens. But you should try not to, right? You should try. I've learned eating 1 ingredient food, which is easier for me when I shop. It really changed my whole brain, my whole thought process when I go shopping. Like when I look around, right? So I try to stay away from the middle of the store, all the shelves in the middle of the store. Sometimes I have to go in there, but I try to just shop around the edge. It makes my shopping experience a lot faster. And it does seem like it's a little bit more money, but I'm not buying as much. So if I try to look at it that way, like, yes, the fresh vegetables are more expensive than the canned vegetables, but I don't have to buy as much because I get a lot from what was there. My body, and I feel good about it, right? So, and I've done a lot of mindful eating, like learning, like, okay, when I eat this, I feel so much better. If I eat this, I don't feel so great. And I don't want that. I don't feel so great, right? So, and it's because I had type 2 diabetes, and I never want to go back to it. I never want to go back to the swollen hot mess that I was. Good morning, Dora. Good morning, Beverly. I appreciate everybody coming. I never want to go back to that again. I never want to be swollen, feeling out of control with my body. Very, very self-conscious. Like I told you, I have a picture of myself that I show that it was summertime and I'm wearing a coat because I felt like if I cover myself over the coat that, nobody's going to notice that I'm overweight. I don't know what I was thinking. But when your insulin's out of control, your glucose is out of control, you're depressed. Depression is 100% tied to insulin resistance, right? So insulin resistance, which I didn't know I was, is tied to depression. So I was probably depressed and embarrassed and, didn't want anybody to know I was overweight. I don't know. I went through this mental, breakdown in my brain with that way, right? So let's get into it. So I want to talk about muscle training and moving when it comes to insulin resistance, diabetes, pre-diabetic, if you have any of these signs, diabetes, pre-diabetes, type 2, skin tags, brain fog, PCOS, ED, IBS, all these initials, right? IBS, skin tags, like I told you, eczema, blurry vision. There's so many things that are tied to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is like the middle like you don't realize it because, like I said, it was never even talked about in my doctor's office. Those two words I didn't hear until I came on here and I met with a diabetic nurse, and she told me everything about it. And I've learned so much about it. So you have to educate yourself to take care of yourself. You have to talk for yourself. I mean, let's be realistic. I meet here in the States, here myself. I know when I go to see my doctor, I'm lucky if I get 8 minutes with her, right? 8 to 10 minutes. She comes in, pulls up your chart. She told me how I was obese. I was a diabetic. Take this medication. Peace out is basically what she said. And that, like for me, that was a hard thing to hear. One, to hear that I was obese, and I shouldn't have been surprised. I knew I was. And two, that I was a diabetic. And, I didn't know much about diabetes. I just I thought it was life-changing, that I was next to be in a wheelchair. Like I thought that was my next thing, right? Hi, Andrea. Good morning. I thought that was the next thing that was going to happen. I was going to be in a wheelchair. Because I have a friend who is older than me, but she's in a wheelchair, and she went on vacation with her family, and her family couldn't do the things with her family because she had to stay on the boat because the wheelchair couldn't come off on some of the islands, right? So then, like, I think of all these things. Like, I had a friend who had neuropathy, terrible, and he would have to take a shot every day. And it was like, there's so many things that I think of. I didn't know much about it because it's not in my family. And that's the other thing. Diabetes is not in my family. Nobody that I know, like, it related to me has it. So I guess I just thought, if nobody in my family has it, I can't get it. But I didn't realize it was what I was eating, right? It's a diuretic disease, right? So I did it to myself. So I don't even know if it's considered a disease, but I hear people call it a diuretic disease. But it's more of like a dysfunction of myself. Like I took food the wrong way, and it should just be a help to me, but that's not what I did. Okay, so fun fact, right? So I have a fun fact. The body was designed to move, right? So the body was designed to move, which is true. Think about it, right? Back in the day, that's what they did. They didn't have cars and stuff like that, so they walked around. And besides, I feel fantastic when I move. The body was designed to move. 30 minutes of walking boosts your mood, improves your blood sugar, and reduces stress. So I've learned with work, I mean, I'm lucky because I work from home, but if I'm having like a moment, if my work is like, I feel like I can't understand something, or if I feel like, all right, this is too much, or whatever it is, do you ever feel like that at work, or you just feel so stressed, like you just feel like my blood pressure's raising, I can feel it. I just get up and I go for a walk. Go out, I bring the dog outside for a walk, or I walk around, or go down and do laundry, like step away and move, do some sort of movement. So if you do that, let me know if it helps you at all, but it does, it reduces your stress, and it lowers your blood sugar, and it gives you better sleep. But, so one thing I want to talk about, this is what I thought was great, and I learned this, that 1 to 3 minutes of exercise, which it could be muscle training, it could be a treadmill, it could just be walking outside, lowers your glucose by 1 gram. It says 10 to 18 milliliters, which I think is ml is milliliters, but it lowers it by 1 gram. So they suggest that after you eat, if you can, if it works for you, you should walk after you eat, right? You should do some sort of exercise, walk, Peloton. Don't go swimming though, right? You can't swim. Remember when you were a kid, you're not supposed to swim for half an hour after you eat. So please don't eat and go swimming and then blame it on the TikTok lady that you got a cramp and drowned on me. So don't do that. Good morning, everybody. Please put in the comments if you have any questions and where you're coming in from. My name is Tina. I'm from Massachusetts, and I am a recovering diabetic, I guess you call it. And so I like to share what I've done. In a quick, short 8 months, I was able to reverse my diabetes from type 2, pretty bad, 11.5 to a 5.2. And I'm no diabetic range. So that's one thing I like to just, do an update for anybody that just came in. But let me know where you're coming from. If you have any questions about it, I can tell you what I know. If I don't know the answer, I would be glad to find out from you. I have some great people that I talk to every day. Thank you, Clarissa. I think I'm saying that right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that so much. So please, if you're going to move after you eat, don't go swimming, because your mom will be mad at me if you swim after you eat. And I don't even know if that's true, but it always stuck in my head. I wouldn't let my kids swim after they ate. I don't know if it's true, but get a cramp and drown. I don't want that to happen to anybody. So if you move after you eat, or even just any movement, but they say after you eat, you should try to move so it helps burn some of that glucose that you eat, because when you eat it, so I'm not I guess I'm doing dirty keto, right? This is what I've learned. There's keto, which is completely only protein, fats, butters, and only that, or dirty keto, which is me. I like my vegetables. I do like some carbs. I do carbs. Like last night, I had a beautiful piece of chicken, beautiful broccoli, and my daughter-in-law made a little bit of noodles, so I had a bite of noodles. So that's like my dessert. And you know what? And it's funny because she said to me, she came downstairs later after she ate, she made noodles, which we haven't been doing it. The whole family is changing their diet for different reasons, right? She had terrible IBS. She no longer does. And she was going crazy. They were like giving her like a bunch of tests in her stomach. And, you know, they were telling all these things that she had Crohn's disease and all these, and she's such a young, healthy girl. So she's changed her diet. She's on the system with me as well, and she has had a problem. But she came downstairs after she had the noodles with her dinner. She must have had more than I did. She ended up, she said her stomach felt terrible. She had to use the ladies' room. Not that she wants me to tell you that I told you that she had to go to the bathroom, but she had to go to the bathroom and it was bad. She hasn't had that in so long. So I think she's realizing that carbs are her enemy, I guess. So I don't want to think of carbs as bad. Carbs aren't bad. It's just the way you eat them and when you eat them. But for her, the noodles, and it was probably because of the dairy. I think they were like butter. They were like Alfredo noodles. I think the butter and the dairy, whatever it was in there, that not the butter, but the dairy really interacted with her body because she hasn't been doing it. So one, I'm glad she was home when that happened, and two, I'm glad that it's, you know, she feels better. So, but anyway, so that's the one thing. So moving is so important for all reasons, all ages, all reasons. But for my situation, having insulin resistance and glucose problems, 1 to 3 minutes will drop it by 1 gram of glucose. So I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea what that means. Like, I don't know if that means like, you know, when you look at you take your glucose, you take your sugar and you read it as an 80. I don't know if 1 gram means now that you're a 79. I should probably ask about that, but I just know it says it drops at 1 gram. So so if anybody knows, please let me know what that means. When you drop your glucose 1 gram, does that mean like if you test it, your points are different? I don't know. That would be great if somebody does know, but I just need to learn. I'm not a pro. I've just lived it and I want to share it with you. Okay, after meal, reduces working out or exercising or walking, not swimming, after a meal reduces blood sugar over 2 hours. So, for instance, like I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat until noontime. But say I did get the chance. I work, so I can't go to the gym at noontime. But just say that I had my food and then I went to the gym, right? So I worked out my muscles or I went for a walk or whatever. But that movement will keep lowering your glucose for you for 2 hours after. So I don't know, maybe you've got a couple quick little weights by your desk at work and everybody thinks you're a weirdo working out at your desk. I don't know, but work out, move something, move it if you can. If you work in an office, I work from home now, that I've worked from home for years, but I remember when I did work in an office, we had tons of stairways, between the floors, maybe eat your lunch and do a few flights of stairs, if you can get that blood moving. So after every meal, reduces blood sugar for over 2 hours, uses glucose for energy. Okay, so that's what I was talking about, the keto. If you do eat keto and then you go exercise, your body's just going to use the keto into ketones, and that's going to be your energy. But if you do have carbs, like I did yesterday, I had a little bit of noodles and I exercised, it took those carbs, and instead of flushing them into my eyeballs and my brain and causing dementia and blindness and things like that, it's going to take that glucose, put it into my cells for energy. My cells, when I was in 11.5, were coated. It's actually kind of sad when I think about what I did. I had such a coating over my cells that the insulin couldn't get the energy in there. That's why I would feel tired after I ate. I'd be like, why am I tired? Or why am I hungry? Because my cells never got that energy because the way I beat them up so bad. Good morning, everybody. Any questions, please add them into the comments. Tell me where you're coming from. And introduce yourself. There's so many great people in here, and people have been connecting with each other and helping each other, so that's what it's all about. But before, in June, my cells were like a glazed donut, which is what Yvette calls it, like just covered in glucose. Good morning. Metabolic Reset with Gina. I love that. I think that's so fantastic. I love that name. So I didn't get the energy into my cells, so I was hungry again and I was tired, right? So I do still have some carbs, right? I'm not going to lie to you. I do have some carbs. So sometimes when I have My eggs, I'll do like a little piece of toast. If I do dropped eggs, I'll do a little piece of toast with it. Or like yesterday, I had a little bit of pasta. So that would take, my body would take that and put it into my system for energy. Or if you do a keto diet, it'll use that for energy. So I just want to let you know that I try to talk about both because I'm learning about both and it's an option. It'll use the fat for energy. Okay, so the one thing that I printed this out because I think it's fantastic. So exercise is one of the most powerful tools. And yes, when I first started this in June, I didn't want to. I'm not going to lie to you. It's beautiful outside. But in the beginning, I am not married. I was married, but I'm not married. And I don't, but it's okay. One of the most powerful tools for exercise, right, is exercise. And I didn't want to do it at first. It was hard at first. I didn't want the energy. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to go do all that. But I love it now. Like I said, I've already been to the gym this morning, right? So one of the most powerful tools to manage diabetes, and I needed that. So you don't have to be a diabetic. You could be pre-diabetic. You could be just to lose a little bit of weight. If I could get to you before you become a diabetic, I would love that. If I could get you to do some research for yourself, I would love that because you could be young and you may not have the problems, but you have some symptoms. You have belly fat, you have brain fog, you have skin tags, you have floaties in your eyes, neuropathy, which was my biggest mess. I didn't like that. That scared the life out of me. That neuropathy, the pain in your fingers and your toes. Anybody let me know if you have any symptoms of insulin resistance. I believe there's like 50 different symptoms that I wrote down. What I had was I had skin tags, terrible discoloration, inflammation. I was swollen up like a balloon, up like one of those puffer fishes. My face was huge. I'll show you a picture of it. I have it here. Brain fog was terrible. I couldn't remember anything. I couldn't remember, I'm 54 years old, so I expect myself to forget things. But you want to know what's funny? It doesn't happen anymore. I don't do the go to the next room and forget what I was going to do. I guess I didn't realize that. I don't have that anymore. Before I'd be like, oh God, what am I doing in here? I don't do that anymore. So I guess I didn't even realize that. Okay, so some of you have already seen this picture, and please be kind because I'm not in love with it, but I'm proud of it, right? So this is what I looked like in June, right? Like a puffer fish, right? Look at that. I was a swollen mess, and look at me with a coat on because I was embarrassed. And I love that little shirt I had on, but I was too embarrassed. I was swollen. And this has only been 8 months that I was able to take from looking like this. I still have a way to go. I'm not 100% healed, but I'm definitely 90% healed, right? Because I got my insulin, I got my diabetes under control, and my diet is better. I have no problems. I don't have IBS any longer. I do not have neuropathy anymore. And like I said, that was terrible. I didn't like the feeling in my hands and my feet, that burning feeling. Anything you stepped on was terrible. I didn't like that. Congrats. So I know it's hard. It is hard. It was hard for me to find the time to do it, but it became more important to me. So then you find the time, right? And so now, instead of eating 6 small meals, right, Metabolic, instead of eating 6 small meals of what to do, I could just spend the time on exercising. I do time restricted eating. I usually do 16 and 8. I've been doing like 17 and 7, 16. I'm trying to push it a little bit more. I would love to do a 24-hour time restricted eating. I can't say the word, but I'd love to do it 24 hours. I haven't done it yet. And let me know if you guys have done a 24-hour of non-eating. I haven't done that yet. FAST. I can't say it on here. I don't want to get in trouble. But if you have had that, let me know. Let me know if you had any success with it. I have some friends. My son did a 72-hour, which I thought was amazing. I couldn't do that. Oh, Patricia, good morning. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. It's so sweet. My son did a 72-hour fast. I couldn't do it. My neighbor across the street, himself and his wife, did a 72-hour fast. And they said that the way that they felt at the 48-hour mark, they said was addicting. They loved that feeling. They knew their body was healing. And so, maybe I'll get there. I'm not there yet. But if anybody does fast, please let me know. Let me know what how you do. I do the 17-hour, and that works good for me, 16 to 17. So I have all that extra time. When I'm not in the kitchen preparing food, I'm able to go out and exercise. Again, we already went this morning. So if you can do it, everybody's life is different. Some people work overnight, so it's not the same. Some people work you know, I don't know. Everybody's got a different life. So try to make it work for you if you can. But if it's important to you, try to do it now, because it became important to me when I found out I was a type 2 diabetic. And like I mentioned before, my doctor said, if I didn't get my diabetes under control, she told me, honestly, she said, if you don't pick up your medication, and start taking your medication right away, I was going to go blind. My organs were going to shut down. I was going to lose limbs and my memory. Because I had told her I didn't want to pick up my medication, that I wanted to just, I think, stew on it or whatever I wanted to do. She said, if you don't pick this up, this is what's going to happen. And then I went back in 3 months. So this is quick, and then I'm going to go back to moving. But I went back in 3 months, super excited to go for my follow-up exam, because every 90 days you can get your blood work done. I went back in 90 days, and I had dropped at that point in October, I dropped my glucose 4 points. Everything was almost in the green. I had some stuff still in the red, you know, as far as healthy or not healthy, normal, not health, normal, abnormal. And at that point, I had lost like 24 pounds, and I thought she'd be happy for me. I thought she's going to be like, great job. What are you doing? She was so mad at me. My doctor was so mad at me for not picking up my medication and going on my medication. And I thought she'd be excited. I thought she'd want to know what I did. She was not. She said, just pick it up and take your medication, and we'll up it again in 3 months. I'm like, and I said, but I'm getting better. I don't want medication. Thank you, Escamilla. I will, MJ, I'm going to follow you when I get off here, because I don't know how to do it when I'm live. I hung up on it last time. So I'm going to follow you back. Thank you so much. So she was very upset with me for not picking up my medication and for not starting it. And even though I was already on the track, a 7.3 is what I was when I went back in October, to a 5.7 didn't seem very far, right? I should have been able, she should have been like excited about me doing that, but she was not. Yes. So, right, Malcolm, it's sad. It's very sad. And even when I go back, I think in a couple weeks. She told me it doesn't matter. You're going to be a diabetic forever. Take the medicine forever. This is how it's going to be. And I tried telling her about my system that I'm on. And I tried telling her that the tea and the fiber that I drank, I told her that I did the time restricted eating, that I do the exercise, and I do my Feel Great system, which is the tea and the fiber. And she didn't hear it. She wouldn't listen to it. I even said this tea and this fiber are in your PDR, your prescriber's digital reference guide. She could look it up. She did not want to hear it. And as people have told me in my lives, it's because of money. Like, she lost a customer. I don't know why she said that, Suzanne. I felt terrible. Only thing I can think is because, so people have said it's because now she's greed, right? And I hate to say it because I like my doctor. I do like my doctor. She's a nice person. But this particular situation, when I reversed my diabetes on my own without medication, and even because it was October when I went back, she said I was at a 7.3. Oh, system and didn't want. Oh, you're from Canada. I said that about the system. Oh, so yeah, so when I went back and I told her I was doing the system, and she didn't want to hear it. I told her it was in the PDR. She said, still take the medication. But I was like, I'm at a 7.3. I want to get to a 5.7. It didn't seem very far. And she said, well, just get to a 7. And that's good enough. And I said, but I don't want to. I want to be a non-diabetic because I know I can do it. I've learned I can do it. And I've already done that far in 3 months. And she said, listen, it's the holidays. You're not going to do it. So I was like, what? Like, I think I was upset. So then I think about the poor people who go in and like the doctor knows, and they do. Trust me, she went to school. She knows her thing, but this is just her belief. But I was very sad about it because I wonder how many people go and their doctor's like, sorry, you're never going to do it. Like, I felt like, I don't know. I was hurt that she just didn't, she never said, good job, nothing. She did say, oh, you dropped a few pounds. I dropped like 24 pounds. It's more than a few, but so you dropped a few pounds and your labs are looking better, but you need to pick up this medication. So anyways, I'm moving on from that. I'm over it. But just so that you know, I'm not anti-medicine. I think medication is important in a lot of situations, but this particular situation, the diabetes, I did it to myself. Type 2, I did it to myself. Insulin resistant, I did it to myself. Pre-diabetic, which I was there, which I learned then because I did it to myself. So that's the only reason I talk about it, right? So So we're talking about moving, how important it is for people with insulin. Everybody should do it, but in my situation, what it did for me, right? It improved my insulin sensitivity because my body not only stores it, doesn't have to store it now. Because one, I'm very careful about what I'm eating. I'm not eating as much, right? Glucose or anything like that. So my body is able to take that insulin and use it for energy. So it's my sensitivity. I'm more sensitive to it, and I'm able to use it as opposed to being insensitive. So now my cells are taking in that energy and using it, which is fantastic. They're supposed to, I think a 5.2 means that there's just no, like they're not wrapped up in gunk like they were. It's clearer, so I'm excited to go back and do it again. But it lowers your blood sugar naturally, again, like I told you. So after exercise, it'll keep going. If you keep going, it'll keep doing it. Oh my gosh, I have 10 messages. I hope nothing bad. Sorry if I missed anything. I didn't know I had 10 messages. Helps with losing weight and belly fat. So I had terrible belly fat because my body was grabbing that glucose that I was eating, those 6 small meals that I was eating, and leaving it in I had to put it somewhere. I can only get rid of so much because I sit down and I have a very sedentary job, right? So I would sit down and have to bring it somewhere. Bring it to my brain, which gave me the brain fog, which could lead to Alzheimer's and diabetes. So it could either be, it would be bring it there, or bring it to my eyes and my eyesight was bad. It would bring it to my skin tags, and I have skin tags and eczema. So now it would go around my body, but I don't have that visceral fat any longer. I'm sure I have some more to work on, but that is gone, right? So it uses it instead of storing it. I want to be a fat burner, not a fat storer, which there is a difference. If you don't eat a lot of carbs and you're just using your protein and your vegetables for your food source, you're going to use the food source for your energy as opposed to the glucose. So we had a science call with a nutritionist on, and she did a great sample of what to think about. Like if you have a campfire and you have the newspaper, you know how you take the newspaper to start it? If you throw a big piece of newspaper on the fire, it burns beautiful for a moment, right? It spikes up, it's a beautiful fire, but it quickly burns out. That's just like glucose. You take the glucose, you put it in your body, it burns quickly, it's beautiful, you feel good, but then it burns out quickly. Those logs underneath is what you want to burn. You want to burn your fat, what you already have, the proteins that you're eating, right? And the healthy fats. So you want to get those logs. So I try to think about that, like, all right, yes, that, whatever I could eat is going to spike it up. I'm going to feel good for shortly, but then I'm going to feel like crap. So it's crazy. It's like a sports car, right? You want to put good gas in it because you want to keep going. So I try to really be mindful about what I'm eating. Okay, help with weight loss, supports heart health. So I don't have the insulin resistance can cause heart disease and problems, so I don't want that. And I do have heart problems in my family that I do have, so I'm really nervous about it. I'm very conscious about it. I want to make sure that I'm not, going through that. Helps build muscle and better glucose control. So, like I told you, I'm working out at the gym now, building muscles. And I went ice skating with my kids last weekend, and my son grabbed my arm because I almost fell. Because I'm not, I'm definitely not a professional skater, but I had fun. And I made a muscle. I'm like, you want to feel my muscle? He thought I was a weirdo, but I thought it was funny. It boosts energies in my mood, and my sleep is better. 100%. Okay. A walk, you don't need to be extreme, which I think is great. You don't need to be extreme, but consistent, right? So a walk, especially after your meal, helps bring down your glucose, right? A light strength training or stretching. Stretching is the next thing I need to work on because, Lord, my muscles were killing me today when I got up. And it was because I don't stretch. I should. And I have a Peloton, so I know I can use the Peloton for exercise, for stretchings and doing some sort of yoga. I would love to do it. I'm afraid. Does anybody do yoga? I'm afraid I'm going to look like I don't even know. I should do yoga because I think and they have hot yoga, which I don't know much about that, but I've heard about that, so that sounds fun. I don't know if it's like a real good workout, so I don't know if anybody does yoga, but I would love to try that myself. So I have a did you know muscle training with diabetes, right? So these are things that I thought were really great. And it's going to be a little bit of a repeat of the move, but if you boost your moods, improves your blood sugars, reduces stress, and helps with sleep. You don't need a gym. Movement is natural. It is medicine for your brain and your body. So also I learned locally, and I don't know if it's everywhere you go, malls open up early for people to want to go walk. So right, today's a rainy day. If I didn't go to the gym, if I didn't have a gym membership, I could just walk the malls. right? So I think that's great. If you can, if you have that option, I bet you're going to get in there. There's going to be a bunch of folks with their little matching suits on, right? their little suits, little track suits bombing around the mall. But I think I'm going to do it. I want to do it one day. So if anybody wants to come with me to walk the mall in the morning, I'm dying to try it. I think it's going to be fun. Okay, so lowers your blood sugar, build muscle, better metabolism, reduces visceral fat in my belly, and reduces inflammation. And you saw my picture of the all right, so Malcolm, you're gonna come walk the mall with me in the morning? I think we should do that. I think we should go walk the mall. If you weren't so far away, I would totally have you come do it. I would love that. Okay, so that was my fun facts that I want to talk about, was walking, muscle training, how much it helps your body. It doesn't have to be crazy. It could be 5 pound, anything different. You can use your own body for muscle weight, push-ups or things of that sort. I've seen workouts on the walls that you can do for exercise. So I'm not telling you to get a gym membership. I'm not telling you to, oh, Linda, thank you for the follow. I'm not telling you to, do anything special, but you have to move your body. I have a job that I sit down, and that happens a lot. I sit, but when I get up, and even just, I'm lucky I have a puppy, so I have to take him out to pee. So while he's peeing, instead of me standing there, I'll, walk around a little bit, pick up something in the yard or whatever. So that was that. Okay, so I really want to go over quickly, because then I have to get ready for work. I want to go over quickly the system that I'm on that I mentioned. And because I don't really talk about it very much, I kind of just say the system and then I move on. But I want to share the system that I'm on because it's been a life changer for me. It helps me with my health, right? So this is what I want to talk to you about. So the three-step reset that I had was the time restricted eating. I don't eat all day. I do 16 and 8, sometimes 17. But I feel great. Like I told you, I've been up since I get up at 4:30. I got my second son ready for work, made his lunch, got the laundry going, went to the gym, worked out, came home, showered. I'm live and I'm ready for work. It's crazy. And all I did was I have the tea so far. I haven't had coffee. I do like coffee. I drink black coffee or sometimes a little bit of cream from Dunkin' Donuts, but for the most part, it's all black, right? So I have my tea in the morning. That's what I do. I get up in the morning. I mix this. This is my second one because I drank the first one at the gym because my son's kicking my butt at the gym. But so I fill it up to here, this 17 to 24 ounces and drink it right down. That keeps me, I don't have food. I don't think about food. I love food. I'm a foodie, which is weird to me to think that I don't think about food, right? So I don't think about food. I don't have that food hunger, like that food noise, like, oh, when are you going to eat again? I don't have that. It keeps me in fat burning. I've already gone to the gym, so I want to stay in fat burning, right? Obviously, I don't want to crash and be tired, so I want to keep it going. I want to burn that fat, right? So it keeps me in fat burning. It's a chlorogenic acid tea, so it helps with fix my muscles. I also drink a Stronghold that I drink that'll help with regain my muscle, bring it back to normal after my son kicked my butt with it. So gives me my gut health, which, like I told you, is depression. So your gut health can cause depression. So I don't have that gut problem anymore. So my mood is always better. So this keeps my mood up, right? So I have my tea that I drink once or twice a day. If I have once a day, for sure. If I want one at night, I was a nighttime snacker. If anybody's a nighttime snacker, please let me know. But I used to snack at night, terrible. So they have a tea that's a decaf. This is natural caffeine in it, but at nighttime it would keep me up. So I have the decaf one, and I drink that at night so that I don't wake up like, ooh, I wonder what I have in the kitchen to eat. I don't do that. So that's what helps me. So that's, like I told you, I'm a lifer, so it's a crutch for me. I don't know how you want to say it. I used it. It's a system, a protocol that has completely changed my way of thinking, understanding my body. I didn't understand my body, obviously, or I ignored it. My body gave me signs to, was like, listen, you're having some problems. You need to get this together. I was having problems. So this helps me. So my tea is what I drink. And then just before I eat, I drink a fiber matrix, which I had not enough fiber in my diet. A couple pieces of broccoli is not enough, right? I'd have broccoli, a little salad maybe or something, but I was not eating enough fiber. I eat a lot of processed foods. So there's that too. So, but the fiber that I drink is smaller. Oh, I just dropped my bottle, sorry, but it's a smaller bottle. I mix it. It's just a little packet that I drink, mix it, swallow, drink it, fills my stomach up so that I'm already not going to eat as much because my stomach's half full of fiber. gives my microbiomes what it needs, helps me flush out any glucose that I have, and I no longer have IBS or any stomach issues. My stomach is like I was before I had kids. I felt like my stomach issues happened after I had kids. That's not true. I just stopped taking care of myself after I had kids, so that's what happened. So I would blame it on I had a C-section. I don't know why, but that was just an easy thing to blame it on. But so then I drink my fiber twice. I drink it twice. You can either drink it once with once meal, but I drink it with each meal because it just keeps. I want to keep that IBS away. If you've ever had it, you don't want it, right? So that's one thing I was happy to have, right? To be done with that. So the little sign I have up top there that says 12 healthy habits. So I'm going to read the 12 healthy habits and then go over a couple little things that I get through the system, and then I'll let you go because I have to get to work. So the 12 healthy habits, daily habits that you should do to help for yourself. And they take time, right? But you think about it. If you could do a couple, right, it's even better. So 1, drink enough water. Yesterday I talked about how important water is for people with insulin resistance, diabetic, because it helps flush it out, keeps you hydrated. There's so many different reasons. I'm not going to bother you with that. The one thing I want to learn, if anybody knows, is what happens with this if you put salt in it. Celtic salt. Like, does anybody do that? What does it do for you? I bought it. I haven't done it yet. I want to do it, but I don't know if it's really good for you or it's just something I read, right? So the second habit that you should do is move your body. Like I told you, it could be at least 20-minute walk, dance, stretch, whatever you want to do. Just move it. Move it or lose it. I remember that. Move it or lose it. Eat whole foods. So you want to do one ingredient foods. If it's got a barcode or an expiration date, it might not be so good for you. These are some things that I've learned, right? So processed food, obviously fast food places. I don't think there's many healthy options at a fast food place. Or maybe I just don't see them on the menu because I'm I like food too much. So try to do that. Add your veggies. It doesn't always work that way, but please be patient with yourself. You may not, you may just need to just be patient with yourself. You may be learning just like I was. And I think I gave myself grace to understand it. And I don't think food is the enemy. I think the way I ate it was an enemy. I think all food is beautiful. I think every culture has a beautiful food, but just be careful how you do it, right? Get sunlight. I can't do that for a few days. We're having some rain. Get sunlight early. Morning light regulates hormones and helps with sleeping at night. I can't do that right now, but maybe this circle light that I have blasting in my eyeballs, which gives me a suntan, I swear, maybe it'll give me the same thing. I highly doubt it. Deep breaths, which are important, so if you're feeling stressed, big deep breaths are really great to do. Before you get up out of your bed in the morning, they tell you to take, 4 or 5 big deep breaths, right? That's what they tell you to do. So I try to do that. Prioritize sleep. And I know that doesn't always sound easy. I had little kids too. I know it's not always the same, but you should try to get 7 hours of sleep. I have a Fitbit that I wear and it tells me you got a great night's sleep or you didn't get a good night's sleep. And I'm obsessed with it. I love watching it. I might share with you guys. If you have a Fitbit, tell me if you like it. The sleep thing is so cool to see how much deep sleep you had, not deep sleep, right? So sit less, stand more. Again, I work from home so I can stand up if I want to, but it might be weird in an office, just standing up. But they do have really nice stand-up desks too that I see that people have. I have one. You just raise up your desk and you can stand up. Actually, I met a girl. She was so nice in an office. I went to an office. She had a treadmill under her desk, and that's all she did all day long. She walked on her treadmill and she worked. But I'm somebody who can't. Oh, how does it say you can't chew gum and walk at the same time? I don't know how I'm going to do with that, but I think I might try it someday. Get the treadmill to see. It was little. It wasn't very big, but I think that was pretty neat. Practice gratitude. So you want to be grateful for your wins. Celebrate your little wins. You lost a couple pounds. One day you didn't cheat. You didn't have any snacks. You just, you kept on your diet or on your plan, right? You drank enough water. Celebrate your wins and share it with your family. My kids are such huge supports for me. I'll tell them something and they're like, that's great. They may not mean it. They may think, shut up, but they're good to me. They listen to me and I share my wins and they're sharing them with me. Like I told you, I didn't tell you this. So one of my daughter-in-laws, she went to the doctor's, I don't know if it was 6 months ago, and she had a little pocket on her breast, right? So they did an ultrasound. I don't know what they told her, if it was like a cyst or whatever it was, not a mass, but she had something on there, like a little pocket of something. she had just recently at that point started the Feel Great system because she wanted to heal her gut because she had terrible Crohn's and IBS and problems in her gut, and everything she ate, she'd be sick in the thing. So I said, just give it a shot. She gave it a shot. She loved it. So in that 6-month time of her taking her, she's thinking my Feel Great system is helping her stomach. She went back to the doctors, and I could cry when I think about it, but that mass or whatever it was, the pocket was gone. It's no longer, she doesn't have that. And she said, the only thing I can think of is the difference in my body. Like, I'm eating better. I don't have, she doesn't have the pain in her stomach, right? So, she doesn't have that. So she can only attribute it to it being right. Exactly. Next Gen. It's such an amazing thing. So she tells me to share it. It's her business to share, but I'm proud of her that, that went away, and that's not something she has to worry about. In her stomach and her Crohn's are back to normal, right? And then the last thing, number 12, is do something for you. So reading is the new thing I've been doing for myself. And I'm supposed to, if I was a good host, I should have been reading my obesity code book for you guys. But last night, I'm going to show you what I did read. The new bunny book. I love Jelly Roll. I'm a country fan, huge through and through. I love Jelly Roll. So I love Bunny, his wife. I think she's a rock star. I think she says it as it is, right? So I did get her book. So this is what I read last night. So sorry, I have nothing fancy to share with you when it comes to insulin resistance. But I will tell you that she's amazing, and that I saw Jelly Roll and Post Malone in concert this past spring. My son got me tickets, and I saw them at Gillette over here, and it was the best concert ever. But she wasn't there. Jillian said she was. Oh yeah, you should come over. I'll take you. It's so fun. Let's get another concert. But Jelly Roll was another success story, right? That guy I think he lost like 200, 300 pounds, and I could hear he was on his weight journey when we went to Gillette. He was already lost, I don't know, 100, whatever it was, 100 pounds, but his voice was so much stronger. And I think it's because he wasn't swollen. And you'd have to, it's no way of coming over just for the day. You'd just have to sleep over. His voice was so powerful, and he said he feels stronger, and he was talking about his weight journey. So it was pretty cool to hear, but what a thing that he's been through too. So anyways, so I'm terrible. I did not read for you guys like I'm supposed to, but I did do something for myself, and I did read. Okay, so the Feel Great system that I'm on is been a life changer for me. Not only physically, but I've met some fantastic people. It's opened my eyes on health. I've met some great people, able to help people. When somebody sends me a message like, oh, I actually lost 5 pounds, or I feel great, I have the energy. Like, it makes me feel good that I've shared my story. My story is relatable because I'm just a normal person. I'm nothing great. Almost Sunday. I can't wait. I'm going to be on Sunday and check your results. I'm really happy for you. I hope that it all works out for you. I know it will. You're awesome. So I know it will be. So, if anybody has any questions about it, you feel free to DM me. Oh, hi, Laura. Coffee addict. Oh, you just missed it. I was saying the same thing, that I'm a coffee addict. So through and through, 100%. So the system that I'm on is called the Feel Great system. And that's all I can say because I'll get in trouble in here. But it's a tea, a chlorogenic acid tea, which I drink instead of my coffee. I will drink coffee, but I have my tea first. Coffee's like a once in a while treat for me. I used to have the big cup of coffee with a ton of cream in it. I don't have that any longer, right? So I have my tea, which is helps me with my food noise, helps me with losing weight. It helped me bring my, I was a terrible diabetic. I'm no longer a diabetic naturally, right? So there's that. There's a tea and there's a fiber. The fiber I eat before I eat. I drink it before I eat, and it helps with my microbiome. So I no longer have IBS. I no longer have neuropathy. I no longer have brain fog. So all of that information, and I'm happy to share with you. If you send me a message or make sure we're connected, I can send you information, or you can find it in my bio. There's an LINK. I got in trouble yesterday for saying that. Laura, and I'll be glad to share. Coffee addict. I think we're sisters because I love coffee, but I don't drink it anymore, which my kids are floored. When I tell you I have a coffee cup, like my coffee cup is like this, like it's this massive coffee cup, right? Big coffee cup. And I would fill it with coffee, and dump a bunch of cream, the International Delight. Horrible. It tasted good, but so bad for my body. So I'm grateful that that's done, and I don't get that feeling anymore. And part of my weight loss is I just don't have that anymore. But my tea is my rock star. So, okay. So look at this. I'm at an hour. There we go. And I have to go. I have to go make sure my son is up for work. If there's anything I can do for anybody, please reach out. I'll come in and check my messages. And Malcolm, you are amazing. You've been such a huge support for me, really giving me the boost to do this. So you're a sweet person, and I appreciate you so much. Everybody, happy Friday. And listen, my quote for today, I did write a quote down because I want to do a quote of the day like a weirdo, right? But goals don't take weekends off. Progress loves consistency, even on Saturday and Sunday. And the reason why I wrote that, yes, I want you to enjoy your weekends, have fun, but try to remember what you're doing, right? If you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to be healthier, if you're trying to, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Yes, you want to enjoy your weekends, but like so I don't know how to say this, but the nutritionist came on and she said she used to work out like a crazy person Monday through Friday. Weekends, she'd blow it. So she was never losing weight, right? Her body was staying the same. So goals don't take weekends off. If you have a goal, even if it's a professional goal, it doesn't have to be a health goal, professional goal, whatever it happens to be, try to incorporate a little bit on the weekends. I'm not telling you to burn your life away, but, try to make it, remember that you worked hard. You want to keep it that way. And also, if you keep it up on the weekend, Monday isn't so bad, right? You're not like, oh, I gotta get back on my diet on Monday, whatever it happens to be. Progress loves consistency. So that's a part with my system. I was consistent with my system. I gave it a chance, and I'm telling you, it's a life changer for me, saved me, and it's doing it for a lot of other people, even in my family. I see it firsthand. My daughter-in-law's grandmother took it, and her doctor was just about to put her on oxygen because she has I forget what it's called when you can't breathe. You have to be on oxygen. I'm sorry, I can't remember it. Laura, thank you. So she was on the medication. She was supposed to put her on oxygen, and she went. And he's like, "You're 45%. Inflammation is down 45%. She's 76 years old. She didn't need oxygen. So, and a lot of it is, she started eating healthy. She doesn't fast, but she eats healthy, better choices, takes her system, and it's a life changer. And she was going to therapy for her knee because she had hurt her knee. She was going to therapy, and she doesn't have to go to therapy anymore. Her knee was better. Inflammation was gone. So this is why I share it, because it's all natural, and it will not interfere with anything. It will not interfere with anything that you're already doing. So that's the other amazing part. But I can't tell you guys how much I love you so much. You've all been amazing. I'll be back on tomorrow. I doubt I'll be on at 6:30. I might try to sleep in a little bit, but we'll see. If not, I'll be back on. I don't know how the weekends are going to go. I know I have a class at 10 o'clock on Saturdays, so I'll come before. So maybe say 7:30, I'll come on and say hi to everybody and show you what I've learned over the night. And I can start talking about the bunny book. I'm not afraid to tell you what I've read. We could do like a little bunny session. What I've read so far, that she was in a terrible car accident. But that's all I've read so far. But I would love to share with you what I've learned. But guys, happy Friday. Appreciate everybody coming to spend time with me this week. This was my first week. So my win this week is I was on every single day, Monday through Friday. I came on in the morning before work. Make it like it's part of my routine. And I've met so many amazing people. And I'm going to be honest with you. When I was going on at night, the nighttime people are spicy. They're not as nice as you guys. You guys are very nice. The nighttime people are not nice. Some of them are, but some of them are spicy. They have things to say. So maybe they're sleeping. The early birds are nicer. Maybe, I don't know. But I appreciate everybody. Malcolm, I'm going to see you Sunday. I'm going to be on. I'm going to see what you're up to. Everybody enjoy your day. I better get to work before my boss shoots me. And thank you guys. Happy Friday.